this video, we're going to break down what you as a new player should prioritize when purchasing items from the Reaper's Challenge vendor, Disciple of Merkel, after completing your Reaper's challenges. Alright, time to roll a bitch. Roll it. Welcome back, and a huge thank you to all my channel members. Feel free to become a member yourself if you feel like it by pressing the join next to the sub button. And also, a message from Jesus.
Hello, window lickers. Mortals. It's me, your favorite almighty Lord and Savior Jesus, and Galactic Underwear's YouTube channel is the answer to your prayers. I myself abandoned the Tower of the Mad Mage to come down here to give you this heavenly message. I am the most reputable person, ever. So subscribe to Galactic and like all his videos. He's out of this world. Follow Galactic and he'll shine a light on your path to salvation.
This video idea originated from this lovely person who commented in a previous video. Thank you, Tiago Lima, for the great idea. I hope I didn't butcher your name, and I hope you'll find this video satisfactory by the time you reach its final conclusion, and I do hope it helps anyone else who needs it. Seriously, what do you spend your Reaper's marks on? What should you purchase, or better yet, what should you spend them on first? You can only get your dirty hands on one Reaper's mark a day if successfully completed, unless it's during a 2x event, in which case you can get 2 Reaper's marks instead. So as you can see, the process is a pretty slow one. So since Reaper's marks have tons of value and can't be accumulated in bunches, that means you need to make sure that every single choice you make is an absolute home run and you don't strike out. First, if you're a newer player, you might not even know what the Reaper's marks actually are in the first place, so let me enlighten you. Reaper's marks are tokens you can get by completing the Reaper's challenge. To see the daily Reaper challenges that you have, you need to open your dungeon's queue and scroll to where it says Reaper's challenge. The dungeon or challenge you must complete changes daily, and it can be difficult to complete because unlike most other content in the game, Reaper's challenges apply different modifiers to add some added difficulty. Examples of modifiers are no revives, which means if you die, you die. Constant DOT, which means you constantly take tick damage through the whole dungeon. There's also no consumables, which means no potions, foods, etc. No dailies, no mount powers, etc. You only get 3 modifiers at any given time, but you get the point. Upon completion, the Reaper's Challenge token will drop into your Riches tab, and you can only accumulate 1 per day max since there's only 1 challenge available per day. But of course, there are times where you can get 2 of them during 2-time events. Something you should know is that the reset for Reapers is 1 hour earlier than other things, so if you miss a day and you can get on in that golden hour, you can catch up. But what do you do with these Reaper's tokens, Mr. Galactic Fruit of the Loom? Well, I'm gonna tell you. You place those tokens in my underwear, and I will perform an exotic dance just for you.
I'm your private dancer, dancer for money, do what you want me to do.
Rest in peace, Tina, you will be missed. But first, let's go find where the Reaper's vendor actually is. Follow me. Once here, just interact with this NPC, Merkel,
At your service.
and her Reaper store opens up. And there are 2 tabs, one for actual stuff you want that are useful, and one for some possible titles you can get if you want them at any point. But personally, I'd skip them until you have everything you need first, since they offer no in-game benefits besides a title. So don't squander your marks for something you don't really need. In the rewards tab, however, everything is useful depending on where you are at in your Neverwinter career. Some items have less value and some have more value. Usually the more marks you need to spend would mean that the value value of said item is much higher. The companion and mount upgrade tokens are undervalued, and the actual legendary mount and companion choice packs seem overvalued, but they are really not. 1 mark for 10 upgrade tokens I think is a very decent price to pay for 10 upgrade tokens, cheap even. And the mount packs seem expensive at 30 Reaper's marks, but they are account wide, which skyrockets their value because you can use and equip those mounts or companions on multiple characters at once. So for example, even if you had 60 characters, you can claim the mounts or companions 60 times. That is absolutely insane value. So what should you prioritize? Priority depends on what stage your character is at, what you already have, and what you are missing. But as a new player, you will want to firstly, in my opinion, prioritize companions. The reason for this is that they have an immediate effect on your ratings and your performance in Neverwinter content such as dungeons, trials, skirmishes, and even in zones while questing to complete your campaigns. Besides that, usually companions are more expensive than good mounts. Usually the case, but there are exceptions. Plus you can use companions even if some of them are not the best choices as summoned. They can still aid you in slapping some mobs around. Another good thing about buying the legendary companion choice pack is it's exactly that, a legendary companion choice pack, meaning one step away from mythic, which is max to the balls. And it also means more bolster. From then forward, you would only need 150 upgrade tokens or 15 Reaper's tokens extra to buy 150 companion upgrade tokens from the same store you bought the legendary pack from in the first place. I think the cost of 150 tokens is anywhere between 1 million Astro Diamonds and 1.5 million Astro Diamonds on PC. Definitely 1.5 million if you buy the upgrade directly from your companion sheet. Also, don't buy the upgrade tokens from the shop. I know I mentioned it, but don't do that. You can get them from many other places and even for free. So save your Reaper's tokens for items that you need more, and save your Astro Diamonds for possible lap dances from Northside. I mean Cherry Blossom from over yonder. Just kidding, North, just kidding. You know I love you. So now you need to decide on one of the 8 possible legendary companions from the legendary companion choice pack. It will cost you a full month of Reaper's challenges, but in my opinion, it is way more than worth it because you can save the Astro Diamonds from those 30 days and use it on other things you will need without having to worry about spending hard-earned cash on companions. It's basically a free companion money-wise and only costs you time. And if you spend that time having fun, was it really a waste of time at all? And to top that all off, it's an account-wide companion. Account wide. And did I mention it's account wide? Value for days, my guy. Value for days. That is why picking the right companion is so important, because you will be giving it to other characters you might be playing as well. So, that being said, we have the Alpha Compy that gives you 7.5% power, the Red Slad that will give you 3.75% accuracy and critical severity, the Green Slime that will give you 7.5% defense, the Minstrel that will give you power and awareness, the Tamed Velociraptor that will give you 3.75 power to everybody in your group, the Phase Spider that will give you 3.7% crit strike and combat advantage, the Battery that will give you 11.25% damage to bosses, and the Rimfire Golem that will give you hit points and critical severity. Of those companions, it is pretty clear to me what the best options are. 1. The Tamed Velociraptor for its huge power bonus potential when everybody in your group uses it. That's 3.75% power times 5, which is 18.75% power for every player in your group. And that is absolutely unbeatable. 2. The Battery is more of an individual damage buff, which grants you 11.25% damage to bosses, which is a mainstay and a must-have for every DPSer worth their metal. Then we have the Green Slime, which grants you 7.5% defense, and for tanks it's not the best choice, but it's a decent choice. And then there's the Alpha Compy for those who want or need more power, 7.5% more power to be exact. And the Phase Spider is also a good choice, but not a priority since 3.75 critical strike and combat advantage utility can also be found in other companions, and there are better companions in this pack you'd want first anyways. So those would be my very first choices, and if I was to prioritize those 5 companions in a specific order, I'd pick the Battery first because there is no substitute for 11% damage on bosses. Then secondly, I'd go for the Tamed Velociraptor for the group power buff, and then either for the Phase Spider for utility or the Alpha Compy for the power boost utility. And if I was a tank or a healer, I'd definitely choose the Raptor first. In general, I'd make sure to acquire both the Battery and the Raptor before moving on to buying mounts with future tokens. The legendary mount pack would be my second most important priority to use Reaper marks on once done with the companions I mentioned. The legendary mount pack also costs 30 days worth of Reaper's marks but has way more mounts to choose from, 22 to be precise, and every single one of them are account wide, which like I said previously adds tons of value. Now mounts are slightly more complicated because various mounts do different things. Usually the best mounts are typically the ones that provide debuffs, high damage output, or auras via combat powers for both AoE and single target. The mounts in the legendary mount pack, unlike the companion pack, are indeed plentiful, almost 3 times as many. Every single one of them is account wide, which means even if you pick the worst one on accident, it would still have value, since you would be able to claim it on as many characters as you desire. The mount choices are the legendary adolescent Deepcrow, the celestial stag, the black ice warhorse, the imperial rage drake, the emperor beetle, the swarm, the legendary giant toad, the infernal war machine, the legendary carpet of flying, the swift golden lion, the rune-clad manticore, the skeleton steed, the armored axebeak, the coastal flail snail, the armored giant strider, the war triceratops, the legendary hellfire engine, the commander tyrannosaur, Tensor's floating disc, the arcane whirlwind, the armored griffin, and the armored belay. That's a shit ton of mounts, and in time you can acquire every single one of them with 660 Reaper's marks instead of paying actual Astro Diamonds, which is close to 2 years and maybe less with double in mark events, and it's going to take way too long, and you most likely don't need to get all of them in the first place unless you're a collector. So let's figure out which ones are better as possible first choices out of all these mounts. These are the ones I find to be way more sought after. The legendary carpet of flying. It has the ability to gather mobs together, making it easier to kill them. Very useful in AoE content, but useless in single target bosses. The legendary giant toad for the tongue lash combat power. It deals a lot of damage if timed properly with buffs. It's the same concept as tunnel vision and Bigby's hand. It's a single huge attack that deals hefty amounts of damage to a target. The legendary swarm for its debuffs and endgame content. You can see the various debuffs it provides you on your screen. The rune-clad manticore for its runic aura, also on your screen. The commander tyrannosaur for its great debuff. The swift golden lion for its protective shield, not as used much lately, but it's still there and it's still decent. The arcane whirlwind for its AoE damage on multiple targets, and then we have the armored griffin and the armored belay for the mitigation. So we narrowed the best ones down to 9 out of the 22 mounts. But we can narrow them down even further to roles or even simply which ones are better. The swarm and the commander tyrannosaur are best for damage debuffs and used almost religiously in endgame content. The rune-clad manticore is used for its runic aura, really good for support classes and endgame content. And the giant toad for single target damage. Personally, if I was a newer player and didn't know which one to choose, I'd pick either the commander tyrannosaur or the swarm regardless of your role, since they can help your group as a whole. And you could definitely choose a legendary giant toad as a damage dealing class as well. Those 3 would be my primary choices, and I'd probably even consider adding the manticore to that as well. And you can't go wrong with either of those choices. And I'm going to give you a final result of what I think you should be choosing from both companion and mount packs depending on your role. For the DPS players, the choices would be the Raptor, the Batiri, the Face Spider, or the legendary giant toad. For the healers, I would say the Raptor, the Compy, the Manticore, the Tyrannosaur, or the Swarm. And for tanks, I would say the Tyrannosaur, the Swarm, the Raptor, maybe the Manticore, and maybe the Slime. I wouldn't pick the Slime because defense is literal diminishing returns, and tanks have defense forte, but still, it's a decent choice. Oh, and something you should be aware of when it comes to Reaper's marks and things you can purchase using these marks is that it's not the quickest and most efficient way to get mounts or companions. There are definitely faster ways, like just making Astro Diamonds and buying them as soon as possible from the auction house. But this is the free way. Even though this is more time consuming, it will let you save your Astro Diamonds and not worry about some specific companions and mounts that you want. So you can set some target goals that you know won't cost you money. It will cost you time instead. For example, you set a target for the Raptor and the Batiri, which you can get at Legendary in 2 months for free, and then afterwards only need to worry about the cost of upgrading one final time to Mythic. That is your cost. The cost of the Batiri or Raptor at Legendary is way higher if you bought it at Epic or Legendary from the auction house and then also had to upgrade it as well. You get the point. Now let's talk about the rest of the items you can buy with Reaper's marks. The 10 mount upgrade tokens and the 10 companion upgrade tokens for just 1 mark is great value, but only buy these if you've already achieved your main goals of upgrading your collars using the shards of greater empowerment, and after getting the companions and mounts you want. Only then would I spend Reaper's marks for companion and companion mount upgrade tokens. You can get upgrade tokens from any other activities in the game, so you're better off saving those marks for something more important like greater shards of empowerment. And trust me, you need tons of these shards to upgrade your colors to legendary, and even more so to mythic. Oh, greater shards of empowerment are very important, and this shop is a very good way to accumulate them slowly but surely. They only cost 1 Reaper's mark, so the value is pretty damn good. As far as preservation wards go, I wouldn't use marks buying them, and I wouldn't waste the marks on Genie's packs either. The purple shards of empowerment are also horrible, and buying them is a waste of marks if you do. The 25 trade bars is decent because you can use the trade bars to purchase companion amount upgrade tokens. Off sale, you can buy 8 companion tokens, each costing 3 trade bars, which is 24 trade bars in total. During a sale, you can get 12 companion tokens for 2 trade bars each, which means the cost is 24 trade bars in total, which is even more value than actual companion amount upgrade token packs in the Reaper store. And there is one item in here that needs some serious repricing. The Epic Mount Collar Pack is seriously overpriced at 25 Reaper's marks for 1 collar pack. Most Epic Collars are around 20,000 to 30,000 Astro Diamonds in the auction house on PC, so do not buy these ever using marks. Just don't do it. The final priority order should be like this. Purchase the 2 best companions for your role using your first 60 Reaper's marks. That would take you 2 months maximum if you don't miss a Reaper's challenge, and even less if there's an event. Then move to getting at least 1 of the best mounts to suit your role, which will cost you another 30 Reaper's marks, so 1 month without missing a challenge. Then from there, I'd go straight to the legendary shards of empowerment and keep buying them religiously until all your collars reach at least the legendary quality level. Each shard will cost you 1 mark, and you need 250 of them to upgrade all 5 of your collars to legendary, 50 shards per collar. That means you need 250 days to get 250 shards, and if you want to get the collars to mythic, then you will need way more. So yeah, don't squander your marks. So as you probably realize by now, you won't have time to purchase anything else from the Reaper shop, because Reaper's marks are valuable and should only spend them on what you need. So while companion and mount upgrade tokens are attractive, you can get them from many other places in the game. Shards are not as easy to acquire due to low drop rates in dungeon loot chests, and you won't need the preservation wards, the trade bar pack, and you 100% should never buy the collar pack or the purple shards of empowerment from this shop. Strictly stick to buying companion packs, mount packs, and the legendary shards of empowerment until you have everything you need. And after that, then I really don't give a fuck where you spend your marks on. You could even use them as stripper currency for all I care. Or you can just simply forget everything I said in this video and buy every mount and companion you need from the auction house and save every single mark just for greater shards of empowerment. That is also an option, but that choice is yours. So that's it. All the items you should be prioritizing with your Reaper's marks. Don't waste them. They are valuable and can help you in time to get things you want, even if you just want them for collections or just to show off. Hope this helps. I hope you all enjoy your summers and have a beautiful day. Galactic here. Peace out. Stay safe.